Ladies and gentlemen, now that we've got Venom awakened and at rank 4, I wanted to do a Venom gameplay compilation today, showcasing Venom in the brand new variant, both in the Venom chapter, which is the very final one, which doubles all of his buffs and debuffs, and we'll showcase that node in a second, but also in other parts of variant, where he doesn't have any special additional buffs kind of enhancing him to a great degree. But one thing I wanted to showcase and start off with is the final Yellow Jacket boss. So this dude has just under 500,000 health, and the Venom matchup on this one is so incredibly insane, man. He absolutely nukes this lad down. Granted, again, this is the Venom chapter where all of his buffs and debuffs are doubled. So yeah, we are just absolutely destroying this boy here. 44 hits in, and he's just going down, man. Look at those bleeds stacking up. Like, this is a crazy, crazy chapter for Venom. We're going to showcase so many more fights where he just, you know, absolutely rolls this chapter. But it's just so crazy that rank 4, without any boost on, he can nuke down the final boss of variant in like 50 seconds. Like, that's absolutely mad, man. So yeah, it's a great time, man. Even a 4-star Venom is just so incredibly ridiculous for the brand new variant as well. So yeah, quickly before we get into the gameplay, because it's going to look very, very stacked to begin with, man, and it's so ridiculous in the final chapter. The global node is Supernova, so this is only for the very final quest in the brand new variant. So when the attacker activates a buff or debuff while fighting as Venom, Venom Paw, Venom the Duck, or Thing, it triggers twice. So double bleeds, double buffs is absolutely insane for Venom, coupled with the fact that about half the paths and half the nodes in this one have bleed vulnerability, so the enemy takes 200% more damage while under the effects of bleed, and again your bleeds are doubled. So yeah, this leads to so many ridiculous fights, and I just want to showcase some of the craziness today, and then we'll get into some normal fights. Alright, so let's have a look at the entirety of that path with a rank 4 Venom. And again, Venom doesn't really need his awakened ability, but it's certainly very nice to have, because it gives you kind of one more guaranteed buff right at the start of the fight with a chance at an additional one. So yeah, we could start with 4 Furies on this one, man. As soon as we get the bleed going, like, this hood is just getting absolutely nuked, man. Certain bleeds are dealing, I think it's like just under 2,800 damage per second, because there were so many ticks of like 1,373, and that ticks twice a second. But the symbiote matchup is even more insane, lads. We get the bleed straight away on the second hit, so we're benefiting from that mega damage there, and this lad is absolutely dropping, mate. Oh, filth, boys, filth. This last chapter is just, it's such a fun time, man. I love whoever made this brand new variant and made this final chapter. I mean, like, coming from Ultron's Assault variant to Mystery in the Micro Realm, it's just crazy. It's like a world of difference, man. Ultron's Assault Chapter 3 took me ages and was a massive pain in the ass, and I remember spending like an Odin's and a half, but I did like Chapter 3 100% for Mystery in the Micro Realm. I think it was like on the very first evening we did it live, and I think it took me out 2.5 hours to do it all 100%, kind of fresh out the gate. So yeah, it's a bit of a joke final chapter, but at the same time, man, if you got the right champions, it's a really good time for like outstanding rewards, because the rewards, despite being a lot easier, are exactly the same as Ultron's Assault variant, which is really fun. So next up, we've got a few interesting matchups. We've got Mephisto, Mordo, and Hela. So Mephisto, I was a little bit worried about, because this is still like a 45k Mephisto, man. That Aura of Incineration, if you get some bad RNG, can definitely be very annoying. Plus, you've got Bane to deal with as well on this path. However, one really good thing I noticed about the special one, if you use it against the wall, it kind of pushes Venom back a little bit. So yeah, you kind of get out of that like nuking zone from the Incineration Aura, and you can just finish him off, man. It's a really good time. And then next up, we've got Mordo. Mordo was another really great fight as well, much like all of the fights on this path, man. Just, you know, get in, get the bleed up, absolutely nuke this lad. One of the huge perks of Venom as well for nodes like Bane and also the final Yellow Jacket bosses with the encroaching stun node is the fact that Venom's special attacks are actually really long in terms of duration, so it gives you like plenty of time and plenty of hits to transfer stuff like Bane and also prevent you from being stunned on the final boss. But also against Hela, a little pro tip for all you Venom players out there: you want to save that special one until she's about to die and then fire it off to kind of pinch launch her indestructible and get her down. So yeah, here we just bait out another special one, going for a combo, fire off that special one, eats up the indestructible straight away, and just nukes her to oblivion. So yeah, absolutely crazy stuff, man. Venom at rank 4 absolutely destroys this, and again, if you've got like a 4-star Venom and you use boosts, this is kind of very similar to the experience that you'd be having with a fully maxed out 4-star Venom. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, if you get 4-star Venom, man, and you don't have a 5-star one and want a very easy time in variant, he's a really great character to max out for so much stuff as well, because he has a lot of additional value in some more matchups that we're going to be showcasing. But yeah, that's the last one of the bleed, man. The bleed Green Goblin right at the start. But that is the end of all the ultra cheese Venom chapter gameplay, lads. It's just absolutely ridiculous, but I really wanted to showcase like how insane a 5-star rank 4 is in that chapter. Next up, we're in chapter 3.2, so we don't have the Venom node here, and we also don't have the kind of the bleed damage increase, so this is pretty much base Venom. The only thing that's slightly different in variant is buff duration for XL champions is increased by 25%, and also we do have a 4 synergy team supporting Venom as well, so you know, he's a little bit more stacked, a little bit more beefy, but by all of the game's standards, these are still some very large opponents in terms of their power index and also health pools and attack pools. You can see this Vulture here with a class disadvantage has just under 40,000 PI, so you know, he's got kind of the equivalent health of the final chapter monthly uncollected bosses here, but Venom is still just absolutely putting in so much work. Very nice special 2 to finish, and yeah, we had so much overkill there, man. I probably should have gone for the special 2 a little bit earlier, but it was a beautiful finish against that Vulture. Now, next up, one of the additional advantages of Venom is the fact that Spider-Verse heroes cannot evade when fighting Venom, which is just so incredibly insane. Makes all these matchups, especially with the Spider-Gwen buff, because she's a lot more annoying now than she used to be, just substantially easier because you ignore the evade. So this works for Miles, it works for Spider-Man Classic, also works for Starknaut Spider-Man as well. So yeah, any of those matchups, man, you just don't need to worry about the evade. It's completely shut down, providing you have the Black Clintar buff, which like generates buffs. So it's worth noting as well, if you're fighting like on a buffet node, sometimes this buff that generates buffs can be removed by that node, and then opponents can evade if they're Spider-Verse heroes. So just something to keep in mind there. But anyway, such a great fight against Spider-Gwen so far, man. She just gets absolutely nuked down in 50 hits. The base damage and the bleeds that stack up are just so crazy on Venom, man. Recently as well, I've also been referring to Venom as the gift that just keeps on giving, just because like every month there seem to be more and more great matchups of Venom, and one of the ones that came like a couple of months ago is the Havok matchup as well. So on the provision that you can kind of luck out and get an armor buff fairly quickly, you can completely ignore all of his plasma detonation. So this is really good for variant because there are so many like really stacked up Havoks knocking about, and you can see here we got the armor buff. So just remember, if you're looking to fight Havok with Venom with this armor buff, if you use the special 2, it's going to consume it and convert it into Fury. So you want to make sure when fighting Havok that you do not use the special 2 at all. So here I probably should have used the special 1, man, just kind of spammed that, but unfortunately I was too focused on trying to bait out the special 2, just because this path as well has power gain. Maybe if I used that special 1, actually I might have pushed him to the special 3, so I was trying to play a little bit safer here in comparison. So yeah, these power gain Havoks, man, they can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but also one tip as well is always push Havok to his special 2, because baiting that out kind of dumps his plasma charges. Not that they're any problem at all, but it's better than, you know, trying to avoid 2 special 1s, man, always is. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do for the most part. I didn't fire off the special 3 here, because that'll push him to a special 3 again. A lot of the Havoks in variant 2 do have power gains, so you got to try and play it as safe as possible and not push him too high in terms of the power. So here I'm going to try and get a special 2 out of him, so I think we use a slightly shortened combo. Again, we don't want to push him like too close to the special 3 here. At this point he throws a special 2, so we quickly dodge that, going for a couple of hits, but I want the BM finish, ladies and gentlemen. We nail that special 3, get the perfect damage bonus, and I love Venom's special 3. It is one of the most badass, intimidating special attacks in the game, but also it does add like an additional like 10 or 12 hits onto the combo meter. So yeah, this lad was dead in about like 58 hits or so. So yeah, really good stuff from Venom, man. Absolute beast and just so useful, as you've already seen, for like so many different fights and matchups in Variant. To showcase another fairly plain fight and have a bit of a look at the damage output on regular Venom as well, we've got this Deadpool X-Force matchup. So this one has increased power gain, and you can see every single bleed that we get on the opponent on average does deal 250 damage twice a second. So every time you crit, man, you're just getting an insane amount of value from those bleeds. It's absolutely ridiculous, because each one of those is an additional 500 damage every single second. And if you've got deep wounds, man, they do last for a fair amount of time, as you can see on Deadpool X-Force. You get a lot of value out of them, a lot of damage. So yeah, Venom is definitely one of the stronger bleeders overall in Marvel Contest of Champions, because these bleeds, they really do add up, and if you're playing fairly aggressively, most of the time you're going to have anywhere between 3 and 8 of these bleeds active. So yeah, there's a lot of good synergy with the Despair Mastery as well to reduce healing, which we're going to showcase in a little bit as well with the Sabretooth matchup. And the Sabretooth matchup has a pretty interesting conclusion, which I'm sure some of you are going to be very amused by, but also another notable matchup and use for Venom, because there's so much utility, man, so much to showcase, and I don't think we have maybe some of the best examples here, but against Civil Warrior and most opponents that have any form of buff, your special one has a chance, I believe it's about 60%, on every single strike to nullify a buff and then feed it to the symbiote, giving you a little bit of healing and also an additional buff which you can use, you know, to get more damage, especially if you convert it via the special 2 into a Fury there. So yeah, we don't really get a great interval here. Also, we kind of fluffed up the special 2 timing here because of Civil Warrior's ability accuracy reduction offensively. It actually like wasted 3 of the buffs that Venom had there, so that was a little bit unfortunate, and we only got 2 Fury value. But you can see, even with that waste, man, this man gets absolutely ruined in 48 hits with a class advantage there, so a really great time. However, one more use again of Venom that I was talking about earlier is definitely with the Despair Mastery synergy against Sabretooth. Can be really good if you're playing very aggressively and keeping those bleeds up, because not only are the bleeds like not giving Sabretooth regeneration, but also with the Despair Mastery, they are further negating his regeneration that he's getting from kind of your base hits as well. So it's really cutting down a lot of the regeneration on Sabretooth, meaning that you can absolutely tear through this lad with some good crit RNG. So yeah, while Venom may not be the absolute best Sabretooth matchup in the world, like, you know, Archangel's maybe a tad more effective when it comes here because you can completely block out the regeneration, it's still like an effective and viable option to absolutely nuke this lad down. Here, I went for a really risky play. I was hoping for like 2 out of 3 crits and he would have been dead, but I only got the crit on the final hit there. So Sabretooth uses his special 3 on me at 1% health, man, and because again, it's like a 42k Sabretooth almost. It's just an instant one-shot. You're just absolutely ruined after that. So yeah, I thought, you know, some of you would enjoy watching me get wrecked there. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching today's Venom gameplay. If you did enjoy it, smash that like button for our boy Venom. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.